Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I have something very special for you all. It is a recording of a presentation I gave recently called Unlock the Coach Within. Now, this is going to be a bit longer than our typical podcast, but I promise you, if you stick around, it is going to be so worth it. So without further ado, here is Unlock the Coach Within. Enjoy.
All right. Okay. I was testing out some new Zoom features, so thank you all for your patience. I think you can all hear me now, right? And if you can use the chat, feel free to type something in there. I was learning a new feature in Zoom, and apparently I was in this backstage talking to myself. But I think we are now working. All right, it says that M is raising your hand. See, I'm not really sure how to call on you, M. So you might need to chat. Oh, I can click allow to talk. All right, M.
Oh, sorry. Chat is disabled for me. I'm not sure about other folks, so I haven't been able to respond to anything, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, as long as you can all hear me in my screen now. Can you?
Okay, great. Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Chat is disabled, but the Q&A feature is working. And as we go through this, please feel free to post. Oh, oops, I almost removed you from the entire webinar. I don't want to do that. Okay, there we go. So again, this is Frank Macri here, in case you didn't hear me earlier. And I'm the founder of Thriving Coach Academy. And I'm really excited to present today a presentation I created called Unlock the Coach Within, a roadmap to success. So I am really much looking forward to this. I appreciate you for devoting some of your evening, your morning, wherever you are in the world, to join me here today. And I'm going to be checking periodically the Q&A box as we go through the presentation. So do feel free to post Q&A as they come up. I see some of you have already done that. And I'll also have some time at the end in case any questions come up. Now, you all may not have heard me earlier when I was in the backstage, but this is really a presentation geared towards those that have not yet begun coach training. I do see we have some students already in the academy, which is amazing, and you are welcome to stay for this, but this is going to be really geared for those that are looking to learn about coaching. You're in the right place if you're kind of figuring out if coaching is a career path for you, if you're wanting to have more freedom and flexibility in your life with a coaching business. Hello, I see that you messaged me, Colleen. So this is going to be a perfect presentation for you if you are wanting to really know how to begin your journey as a coach in the best way. So we're going to go over a few things here. We're going to go over, first of all, what are the main differences between coaching and therapy? So that way we're all on the same page with that. And some people confuse what does a coach do versus a therapist or even a mentor, a coach, and consultant. So we'll briefly cover that. Then we'll go into the nitty-gritty and we'll talk about how to approach your coaching sessions with a clear mind. So we'll talk about how you can create unlimited possibilities with your clients and also lead transformational coaching sessions. And then at the end, I'll also go over some best practices to keep in mind if you do want to grow a very profitable coaching business in today's day and age. And that's going to be really important to listen to because the coaching industry has very rapidly changed over the past several years. So what used to work doesn't work anymore. But thankfully, we have found a way that coaches can thrive in today's fast-changing world. And I'm going to share with you the best strategy that our coaches have been using and that you can also apply. All right. So before we go in, I know some of you have not yet really heard about me. Maybe you've heard of me through the Life Coaching Secrets podcast. So that is one of the top listened life coaching podcasts out there with over 120 episodes. And I've been in the coaching industry for about a decade now, and it's really wild to even share that. So over the past decade being in the industry, I started out as a coach, built up my own practice, and then eventually transitioned into teaching coaches. If you're not yet subscribed to the Life Coaching Secrets podcast, you can easily pull up your phone. If you have Apple Podcasts, you can search it there, or on Spotify, you can also search it there. You search Life Coaching Secrets and you'll be able to subscribe for free to all of those episodes. So when I got started as a coach, even though I've been able to have success in the industry, I definitely had a lot of fear and hesitation when I was entering into this line of work. Like you, probably like you have some fear and insecurity and maybe imposter syndrome and thinking like, who am I to become a coach? So I had a lot of that, and I didn't really think I had much to offer, but I knew that there was a part of me that wanted to share and support others. And I was very passionate about mental health. I knew that I wanted to work very closely with people, and I wanted to have a lot of freedom and flexibility in my life as well. I did not start out with I didn't start out with a background in mental health or therapy or business or entrepreneurship. So I was brand new to all of this. So I didn't really know what it was going to take to be successful as a coach and entrepreneur. So one of the things that I was most debilitated by was the fear of judgment. I was so worried, if or when I become a coach, what are people going to think of me? Are people going to judge me? Are people going to take me seriously? And I had a lot of the concerns around, even if I do decide to become a coach, is this going to be a lucrative career path? Is this something that people actually pay for? Or is this just kind of like a fairy tale career that doesn't really exist? But I remember reading back then that coaching was a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I realized, okay, people are obviously getting paid as coaches. So I just need to figure out how to make my mark in the industry. So I started out not getting any formal training, and that was a huge mistake. I just read a few books about coaching, watched a few videos, and I remember I had started working with this one client. And again, I was not formally trained. And it was only a few minutes into that session with her where I quickly lost my confidence and I had no idea what I was doing. And she knew. She hung up the phone and she said, you really need to get proper training if you are actually going to do this work. And it was a very humbling moment for me. I was humiliated, but it was also a wake-up call. And it was a moment when I realized that if I had a big mission, it's going to require big support. And that's when I realized, okay, if like learning any skill in your life, if you want to get really good at it, if you just don't want to be good, but you want to be exceptional, then you need to have proper mentorship and training. So success, like one of my favorite quotes is, success requires support, failure we can do alone. So I realized that I had blind spots like the most successful people do. And I decided to start investing in coaching and mentorship and training over the years. So I've worked with so many mentors and it's always been worth it. Like I feel like it accelerated all of the success that I was able to create. And in my first year as a coach, I ended up making $0, but I learned a lot of lessons. I was hiding behind my computer screen a lot of that time, just trying to make a fancy website. And I thought people would just magically find me. And it doesn't work like that. So finally, I decided to put myself out there and take the advice of the mentors that I hired. And that's when I started to see my coaching business start to grow. And I was able to, in those next 2 years, make over $300,000 as a coach. And I was blown away by that success, saw my business continue to grow from there. And it was all from organically marketing my business, meaning I wasn't paying for ads. I wasn't cold calling people. I was just connecting with people, forming genuine relationships, offering them my services, or I was just producing value for people and inviting them to work with me. So it was all very warm outreach and never felt like I had to push my coaching on people or be really salesy or weird. None of those things. So in that process of becoming a coach, I also overcame all the insecurities that I had regarding like what I had to offer and really where I fit into this industry. The cool thing about becoming a coach is that you also get to do a lot of work on yourself. So I thought like I needed to feel like my life was together and I need to feel totally confident and ready. And you don't need to feel those things because the process of becoming a coach is transformational in itself. So as I learned coaching and began to work with clients, I found that my own confidence transformed and I was able to begin coaching people of all walks of life. I did executive coaching, I did career coaching and life purpose coaching, I did relationship coaching, whatever part of the coaching world you can think of, I was coaching clients in all those different areas. So as my business took off over the years of being in it, some people started to ask me how I got into the work as a coach, and they wanted to learn how to be successful. So that's when I started to take all the different frameworks that I was applying to get my clients amazing results, and I started to teach others how to do it themselves. And that's how I got into training coaches. And I thought, okay, how can I take all the years of failure that I accumulated with business, simplify it and distill it so that way coaches can bypass all of that pain that I went through and save all those years of heartache and start to work with clients faster and start making money faster. So as I started teaching individuals like you, I saw that they were able to replicate the success I had and even start to get clients way faster. Like they didn't have to wait a whole year without getting any clients. I was seeing the coach as I train start getting their paying clients within their first 5 months in the industry. Then it became 4 months, then 3 months. And now a lot of our coaches in the academy have their first paying clients in their second month. So it's been amazing just to see the frameworks work faster and faster. So that's what led to the creation of what's now Thriving Coach Academy. And I'm very proud that the success that I created as a coach wasn't just my story, but it's been the story of so many coaches like you, so many people of all different walks of life that had a big dream. They wanted to help more people. They wanted more freedom in their life. They wanted to create a career that they actually loved, and they've been able to do that with a career in coaching. So it's been a very exciting journey. In fact, we just finished our first in-person retreat with a lot of our students, which was amazing. Some of you here attended that, which was great to see you in person. And you could see here on the screen, like this is just a little collection of different coaches and graduates we've had over the years that have shared their stories. And all of them are listed on our website. I think it's important whenever you're looking to pursue a goal, something unknown for you, that you see examples of people like you that have already done it and are successful. So as I go through this training today, I'm going to highlight a few of these stories so that way you can also be inspired by them. Because I know that if I was so afraid to get started, if I had all of these fears and imposter syndrome, and if it's possible for me to overcome that and for these coaches up here to overcome it, then it's also absolutely possible for you. So if there's anything I want you to get from this training, I hope that it's the belief that whatever kind of vision you have for yourself as a coach, I want you to know that it is totally possible. All right. All you need to do is just have the proper frameworks and support. And again, one of my favorite quotes is, failure we can do alone, but success requires support. Okay, so instead of like being so afraid about this journey as a coach and think, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming, it's so scary, I'm so stuck. Instead of all that, just take a breath and say, where can I receive support? Right? There's already people like you that have done it. So rather than just throwing shots in the dark, you just need to find the proper support. Okay, so as I said earlier, I will be sharing various examples of some amazing coaches for you to be inspired by. So one of those examples is Allison. She's one of our graduates, and she was a bit hesitant and unsure about what was going to be possible for her as a coach when she got started. And then she ended up having her first $10,000 month within, I think, her second or third month into launching her coaching business. So I love hearing stories like this. And it's just fun to see like people that are able to take something they love doing and also get paid well to do it at the same time. All right. Now, I'm not going to leave you all hanging when we finish this training because we are going to cover some material and I'm going to go fast. But I want you to know that you don't have to master everything in just this 90-minute presentation. Before we finish, I will talk about Thriving Coach Academy. That is our accredited coach training program. And I will explain a bit about what is included in the program in case you do want to take it to the next level and get that support. So don't feel like you're going to be hanging at the end of this. We do have resources for you. So let's quickly go over the difference between coaching and therapy, because a lot of people seem to have a misunderstanding of what a coach actually does. So you can see here on the screen, I've created this graphic that shows how therapy is really to help someone who is having some kind of type of dysfunction in their life. So a lot of therapy will focus with their clients on the pain in the past. How do we heal from the pain in the past so you can show up in the present moment? So how can you heal from the pain in the past to show up in the present moment? So a lot of therapy is going to focus on mental illnesses, and dealing with trauma that people have gone through. It's going to address some of those like deeper rooted issues that someone might be held back by that have been debilitating them in some form of their life. And therapy is amazing. I love it. I've worked with therapists before. I have a therapist now, just like I work with a coach now, and I also love coaching. So it's not about which one is better or worse. It's just knowing that how they're both different. Coaching kind of picks up where therapy leaves off. So coaching is all more about moving forward. It's more about getting someone from A to B. So you don't need to have a mental condition in order to you need, and when you're working with a therapist, often to address a mental condition, but to work with a coach, it's often people that are functional, they're successful, they've got a lot of amazing things going on in their life. They're just looking to take that one area of their life that's just kind of so-so or fine to the next level. So for example, they might be very successful in their career, but they've been struggling with their dating life or their marriage, and they want to help navigate that. So it's more forward moving. You don't spend a lot of time working with clients on their past and resolving traumas or different kinds of situations that may have happened in the past. It's more about where are you now and where do you want to go? Where do you want to optimize something in your life? So coaching is more of how do we take where you are now and all your strengths of today to get you to your desired future? Again, coaching is more of how do we take all your strengths of today to get you to your desired future? So coaching is more outcome oriented. It's more about achieving a particular outcome or result or completing a particular goal. Okay, therapy is more of, it's not necessarily goal oriented or result oriented. It's more of how do we heal from the pain of the past? Now, when it comes to the industries, there's a lot more regulation with therapy. There's a lot of training and licensure that is required. And usually when you get licensed as a therapist, you are only able to work with clients in that state you're licensed in. Okay, so we've had clients we have students in the program that have come from therapy backgrounds, and they wanted to expand the ways they can grow their practice and work with clients. So when you're a coach, you can work with people from all around the world. Okay, you can work with people from absolutely anywhere. There's no limitation to it. The sky is the limit. Like one of our graduates, Gail, she was and still is a licensed marriage and family therapist in California. And she wanted to grow the way she could help people and grow her business. She became a coach, began offering her coaching in addition to her therapy. And she was able to, I think, triple or quadruple her income just by adding coaching as one of her services. So that's one example of how the difference could play out when it comes to the industry regulations and rules. Okay, now you might hear about a lot of coaches out there and think that it's an oversaturated industry, but there is so much demand for coaching right now. And while there might be a high supply of coaches, the supply of qualified, well-trained coaches is very limited. So it's an easy way for you to stand out when you have proper training and mentorship and frameworks that are proven to work, because you're going to get your clients better results. And that's going to easily make you stand out amongst all of the rest. So there's nowhere near too much saturation in the industry. There's still so much demand for coaching and even more demand for properly trained coaches. Okay, now when we think about coaching versus consulting, consultants are usually the ones that tell their clients what to do. So with coaching, that's not the case. With coaching, you're not going to tell your clients what to do. You're not really giving them your advice or guidance. You are empowering them to really access something greater. You're helping them connect to their inner genius. So you can see on the slide here, it's like you go beyond what your client knows and what even you know to help them access a higher form of consciousness. So this is relieving for you to know, because your success as a coach is not dependent on what you know or your expertise. Of course, you can weave that into your practice. You can be a coach and a consultant. However, if you're someone that feels like you don't really know much or have much expertise in an area, that's okay, because the coaching process is about you helping someone connect to their inner genius so they can access the insights that are going to help them move forward. And this is very empowering when someone's able to connect their own dots versus you just doing it for them. Okay, so that's the difference between coaching and consulting. All right, oops. So before we get into that, because some people also wonder, what is the difference between coaching and mentorship? A mentor is someone that's going to show you the ropes, like they've already achieved the success that you want to achieve. And a coach, again, doesn't have to have the success of their clients. So you don't have to be a millionaire to help someone make $1 million. Okay, you don't have to be in an amazing relationship to help someone navigate relationship coaching. You don't have to be in perfect shape, so to speak, to help someone get in better shape and do health and fitness coaching. Okay, so as long as you know the coaching process, you're able to use that, and that's going to help your client hit whatever goal they want to hit. So for many people, they are interested in the academy because they see me as a mentor. Like I'm someone that has already created success as a coach and they want to learn how to do it. So I often serve in the mentor role in what I do. Okay, great. So with that being said, I'm going to check the Q&A. Looks like no questions have come in yet, but feel free to let me know if you have anything that comes up around all these different differences between coaching and therapy, consulting and mentorship, etc. So now that we have a general understanding of really what the role of a coach is, I want to talk about what I call pre-coaching concepts. Okay, so a lot of people, when it comes to how to be successful as a coach, a lot of people think it's about what you ask and what you do in a session. But a lot of people, what they don't realize is what needs to happen before the session. Okay, and there's 3 concepts that I've come up with that we share with our coaches in the academy that I'm going to share with you today. And these are going to help you really dial in and have such clear focus with your clients. Okay, so if you ever have coached already and you feel like your sessions are very scattered, or you feel like you're missing something, or you're not satisfied with how the session ended, what I found from the years of training coaches is that it's not usually something that's happening in the session. It's the energy and the attitude that you're bringing into your coaching session. And this is what a lot of coaches are not aware of. And I believe that once you understand these 3 concepts that I'm going to go over in a moment, once you apply them, you're going to be so much more clear in your sessions. You're going to coach way more powerfully. All right, so the first concept that I'm going to talk about is called the blank canvas. The blank canvas. So think about a blank canvas that like an artist might use. Okay, whenever they're looking to start a new piece of art, they often start with a blank canvas. Now, when you have a blank canvas, you have infinite possibility, right? You can create absolutely anything with it. You can put whatever paint, colors on it, shapes on it, anything, and it's infinite what you can do with it. So the power in the blank canvas is that when you think about that visual, anything is possible, right? You can go in any direction with it. Really, the sky is the limit. So here's how this relates to you as a coach. One of the biggest mistakes that coaches make is they show up to sessions with a bias around what they think their client needs, or what kind of direction they think their client needs to go, or what kind of strategy their client should implement. And the reason why this is going to be limiting your client is because every person is individual. So when you start putting your assumptions and bias on a client, you are limiting them from having their own breakthroughs. Okay. Now, your advice and your guidance might be coming from a good place because you really want to help the person, and maybe you've gone through a similar challenge that they're going through. So you think you're doing them a favor by telling them, hey, here's what I think you should do, or here's what I've learned, my experience. However, each person is different. So while you think that you're doing someone a service, the problem is you're putting your bias on the client. So it's really robbing them of the opportunity to have some kind of breakthrough themselves and figure out what's possible for them. Okay, so for example, let's say that someone comes to a session with you and they want support with their career. Maybe they're not feeling so motivated or satisfied in their career, so they hire you as their career coach. And they're thinking about different career options, but they're not sure which way they want to move forward. So a coach who does not understand the blank canvas, and I hear this happen all the time, what they're going to do is they're going to bring their bias into the conversation and say something like, well, I've worked with so many clients over the years with situations like yours, and I found that the key to getting motivation is by pursuing roles with leadership. So what you need to do is you need to really tap into your leadership potential and start looking at management positions, because that's going to be the way for you to find fulfillment in your career. Now, the coach might feel really good about this advice that they just share with their client. Their ego is probably feeling amazing about all this wisdom that they feel like they've imparted on their client. But at the same time, the coach is assuming that the client's lack of motivation can be fixed just by them having some kind of leadership role. Okay, so they immediately start recommending what they think the client should do without really exploring what the client's interests are, what the client's skills are, what the client's preferences are. So the coach has this preconceived bias around what the client needs, and it's probably not going to align with what the client actually wants. or what's probably a good fit for them. So you really need to catch yourself when you feel tempted to impose your solutions to a client's problem rather than letting the client explore their own possibilities. And I'll give you one more example. Let's say you have a client who's struggling with a big major life decision, right? Maybe they were offered some kind of lucrative job opportunity in a different city, but they're not really sure if they should accept that offer, right? Or if they should stay in their current location where they already have their network, they already have their job that they enjoy. So if we go into this, a coach who does not understand this blank canvas concept, they're going to come to the session and say, okay, I've seen this happen before. You definitely got to take that job in the new city. It's the best career move option you have. The financial benefits are amazing. You can make new friends. You can get new connections when you get out there, and your current job's not that special anyway. Okay, so you might hear this and go, well, why would I ever say something like that to the client? But when I pose the scenario, right, when I mentioned it, notice if your brain automatically had some kind of bias towards where you think it would have been ideal for the client to go. Okay, so really getting this concept means that you're not attached to the outcome. And I'm going to give you some different thoughts and the mindset that you want to have in a session to really embody this concept even more. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that up here right now. So here's the mindset that you want to have going into a coaching session. Here's what you want to believe in order to honor the blank canvas. You want to believe thoughts like, I'm curious and I'm genuinely interested in the client's perspective. It's about their agenda, not mine. I'm going to focus on what's being said, not what I think should be said. That's a big one. I'm here to facilitate their growth, not impose my ideas. I'm committed to their success, whatever that means to them. And finally, I'm open to surprises and breakthroughs. I love that. And we even had another one. I respect my clients' autonomy and choices, even if those differ from what I might suggest. Okay, now all of these different thoughts are going to help you honor the blank canvas in a session. And it's going to create an environment where your clients feel very supported, they feel empowered, and they feel free to really explore their thoughts and their goals without feeling like you are judging them or you're imposing your ideas on them at the same time. So this is concept number one. Again, I call it the blank canvas. Boom. All right, let's go into concept number two. Again, if you have any questions that come up, feel free to put those in the chat box. The second concept is the heroic lens. Okay, this is our second concept that we're going to go over today. So the heroic lens is another one that I came up with. And when you think about working with clients, a lot of coaches, one of the mistakes that they will make is that they will think that it is their job to rescue their clients because they think that their client is a victim who is going through some kind of big challenge or struggle in their life. All right. So this concept, once you really embody it, you are going to really unlock your client's potential. Okay. If you want your clients to get amazing results, you must see them as a hero. Okay. You must see them as a hero that is on an epic adventure, capable of overcoming challenges and making transformative choices. Again, the mistake that coaches make is they don't see their clients as heroes, but they see their clients as victims. Here's how you know if you're seeing your client as a victim. You'll know because when your client starts sharing their challenges and problems, you start to feel bad for them and you start to feel like it's your responsibility to solve their problems. When you see your client as a victim, you feel bad for them. You'll feel like you need to jump in and take away their pain, take away the suffering they're going through. So what you end up doing when you're not wearing wearing the heroic lens, when you're not wearing a heroic lens or seeing your clients as heroes, you don't coach. You end up coddling your clients. And there's a huge difference between the two. And unfortunately, a lot of coaches that don't have proper training, they feel like they're doing an amazing service, but they're not even coaching at all. They're just coddling their clients. All right. So here's some questions that can help you start to recognize where you might fall in this. First of all, how tempted are you to heal, fix, or solve problems for your clients? This is a really big question. A lot of people that come into the industry, they previously are in career paths where you do a lot of caregiving, or you're working very closely with people and you're the problem solver. You probably have had a lot of careers where you are the problem solver. Maybe you come from a background in teaching or counseling or massage therapy or nursing. Okay. Oftentimes people drawn to coaching are accustomed to being in roles where you're using a lot of compassion. Okay. You are helping people overcome challenges. But when you step into coaching, it's very important that you don't feel like it's your responsibility to solve your clients' problems for them. Okay, and then the final question here is, how concerned do you get when a client shares their struggles? If you start to get worried when your client is sharing their challenges with you, it might be a sign that you've got to embody this concept more. Okay, so what does it mean to actually coddle? Here we go. What does it actually mean? Coddling is when you think, I must get my clients out of pain, or I need to get my clients out of suffering. I must solve the problem for them. My client is suffering and I need to end the suffering for them. I feel bad for my clients. My client is really stuck. Okay, when you have any of these thoughts, even to the slightest degree, then you're going to coddle your clients. You're not going to coach them. Okay, so when you think about the heroic lens, one question to consider is, how do you see people in general, right? Do you see a lot of people on the planet as victims that need to be rescued or need to be saved? Or do you see people as heroes? Because the more you can start seeing people as heroes that are just on an epic adventure, the easier it's going to be for you to show up as a transformational coach. Okay, so we're going to now look into what's the type of mindset you want to have to embody this concept. Now, there's probably people, when you think of the word hero, you probably have some people that come to mind, right? Maybe notable figures from our time. You think of those people as heroic. Now, all the qualities that you admire about those people are also qualities that can be cultivated in every single person. So the more that you start seeing not just those initial people in your mind, the notable figures, as heroes, but you start seeing everybody on the planet as heroic by nature, then the easier it's going to be for you to apply this when you're working with clients. It's going to become so simple for you to awaken the hero that's within you. I often think that is one of the deeper services we offer to our clients. As coaches, we're awakening the hero within our clients. That's like one of the hidden benefits they get from coaching. So you're not there to solve your clients' problems or rescue them. You are there to help them believe in themselves to the point where they also realize that they've been the hero all along. Okay, it's like that Mariah Carey song, Hero. That always comes to mind when I teach this. So when your clients are sharing their problems, you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get them out of the pain and rescue them right now. You actually are willing to let them be in discomfort because you trust that through coaching, they're going to start making choices to move their life forward. They're going to start taking responsibility for their life. Okay, so sometimes powerful coaching means letting your clients be in discomfort for the sake of their own transformation. Okay, if you think about like the butterfly, the process of what is it called? Like the caterpillar to the butterfly. If we were to take a butterfly before it even gets there, and it's in the pupa phase, right? Caterpillar to pupa. And we just really want to get it out of the pupa phase. We want to see the butterfly. So we make a little tiny slit inside the pupa. The butterfly dies, like it doesn't even come out. It needs to go through the struggle of the pupa phase. It has to go through that process to become the beautiful butterfly. So think of your clients as like they're in the pupa phase. Okay, they're going through the growing pains, and we see them through that to the finish line. We don't try to rob them of their own transformation. So some thoughts, as are shown here, that you can have is, I see my client as the hero of their journey, capable of overcoming challenges and achieving their goals. Okay, I trust the process and my client's ability to find their answers. One of the things that sometimes when we mentor coaches in the academy and we demonstrate what coaching sounds like, one of the things our coaching students will notice is how much silence we often allow in sessions. Because sometimes as a coach, you might feel like you need to eliminate any silent moments that you need to fill the silence with your wisdom and insights. But sometimes it's in those awkward, uncomfortable, silent moments that feel weird. That's often where, when you fully trust in your client's awareness and you trust that they're going to get the insights they need, it's amazing. Like those silent moments where you're not trying to rescue, fix, or solve for your client. Those are the moments where your clients have their biggest breakthroughs. Next thought is I won't rush to provide solutions. I will allow for self-discovery. That's really big. And then I'm here to empower. I'm here to empower my client, not rescue them. Okay. So I like to see your coaching session as a turning point. Like, what if you saw every session with your client as a turning point in an epic adventure of their life? They're not hitting a wall. They're just navigating a speed bump. All right. They're at a turning point. So these are all different ways you want to see your clients in your session. You are a witness to a hero, and you are awakening the hero within them. So that is the heroic lens. And if you think about most epic films in our time, they follow usually 3 acts, right? Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. The first act is where we learn about our hero, the main character of the story, and we realize that they have some kind of mission they're trying to accomplish. And then they hit Act 2, which is where they are faced with some kind of villain or problem or struggle. Something's getting in their way. And then they finally get to the end, which is the resolution, Act 3. So your clients, they're coming to you when they're in Act 2 of their epic adventure of life. So just believe that they're going to get to Act 3. That's just, they're going through the natural phase of any heroic journey. All right. So once you embody this concept with your clients, you are going to see your clients as heroes, and you're going to have way more powerful coaching sessions. Now, let us go into our third concept. I love this one. This is called the coaching arc. Okay, so one of the other biggest challenges that coaches have is they feel like their sessions are all over the place. They're scattered. They don't really know what they're supposed to do at different parts of the session. They feel like their sessions are very rushed, or they find that they're finishing early and they're not sure what to say or what to ask in the remaining time with their clients. So that is why I came up with this concept called the coaching arc. And once you understand this, you're never going to feel like your sessions are off track again. This is how you can break down your sessions into 3 distinct parts, so you know exactly what you want to focus on in each of those parts. Now, sometimes coaches will ask, what's the ideal length of a coaching session? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? Is it 1 hour? The answer is it doesn't matter how long your session is. What matters is how well you honor the coaching arc. What matters is that you have a distinct beginning, middle, and end to your session. And as long as you honor the coaching arc, your clients will leave your session with a sense of completion, no matter how long it is. They will feel like they got exactly what they came for. And you're going to feel the session feeling like it was able to flow powerfully. So I'm going to go over the 3 parts of the arc and what are the most important things for you to focus on in each of those sections. So let's start with the beginning. So the beginning of a session is where you want to establish, I think I have a slide for this. There we go. The main things you want to do is establish rapport with your clients so they feel safe to open up. You want them to feel like they're in an environment where they can share whatever's on their mind, making sure they understand that their confidentiality is going to be honored. The second thing you want to do is clarify the agenda for the session. So this is where you'll have your client assess what kind of support are they looking for right now? What's the biggest thing on their mind that they want to explore in the session? Okay, so you'll take some time to clarify that with your client, and you'll ask them questions like, how can I support you today? What would you like to get from our session? What's going to give you the most value? And it's going to take some time for you to do that. A lot of coaches, as we start to give them that mentorship in the academy, we give them feedback. A lot of coaches will, without realizing it, rush through the beginning of the session, and they often get stuck later in the session because they didn't honor the beginning. Okay, so the third thing you'll do in the beginning of a session is identify what we call the big domino. All right, so the big domino. Your clients are probably going to have a lot of different thoughts and a lot of different struggles. So the big domino is a concept I came up with, which really refers to like the heaviest thought that's getting in their way. So if you think about a sequence of dominoes all lined up, Think of the big domino as that first one in the sequence. Once you knock down that first domino, what happens to the rest? They fall down, right? So if we can find out what is the biggest challenge the client is going through, and we can focus on that in the session, well, often when we resolve that, there's a ripple effect. You solve the main problem, it often ends up resolving the other smaller problems. All right, so the good news is that if you feel pressured in your sessions to figure everything out in the first session with a client, what you need to recognize from this is I just need to figure out what's the big domino, right? What is the big domino thought? Once you address that with your client, everything else is going to get knocked down. So one great question to ask at the beginning of a session, if a client has so many different things they want to talk about, you could say, okay, I'm hearing that you might want to explore X and Y and Z. Which one of those is weighing the most on you right now? Is it thought A? Is it thought B? Is it thought C? Which one's holding you back the most? Or if it's an emotion, like, okay, you're feeling X, you're feeling Y, you're feeling Z, which emotions is having the most impact on you right now? Once the client identifies that, now you know the big domino, and this is the perfect place for you to get to the middle of a session. So let's talk about what to do there. The middle of the session is where you're going to ask lots of empowering questions that are all designed to promote self-discovery. Now, there's so many different questions you can ask. And one of the resources we give our coaches in the academy is an entire series of questions that they can use. It's pages on pages of empowering questions that you can implement into your sessions. And we're not going to go over all of those right now. That goes way beyond the scope of this training. But the key thing that I want you to know is I want you to ask questions that are opening up possibilities for your clients. Okay, so generally more open-ended questions that allow your client to start understanding themselves a little bit differently. Avoid leading questions, which are questions that are pushing a client to answer in a certain way, and avoid stacking questions, meaning you just bullet questions, boom, 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 right? Just ask one question at a time, let the question sit before you go into the next one. Now, the second thing you'll do in the middle of a session is explore the client's rule book. So this is another concept that we teach in the academy. The rule book refers to all the different rules we have around life, how it should be, who we should be, how others should be, how we should experience certain things. And when we recognize that these are all rules, they're all expectations and assumptions, we can notice whether the rule is working for us or against us. And often a client is struggling because they have rules that are no longer serving them. They're no longer serving their growth and transformation. So maybe you've heard of the phrase, what got you here won't get you there, right? This is what we mean when we talk about the rule book. All of the different rules about your life that you might have, whether it's rules about time, money, decisions, everything about where you're at, this is all included. All of those rules have gotten you to where you are right now. But for any new result that you're looking to create in your life, you've got to also look at the rules that are not serving you and let those go and create new ones. All right. There's sometimes moments where we need to rewrite the rules of our life. Sometimes our rules expire. So it sounded like when I was deciding to become a coach, I realized I had so many rules around money. I had so many rules around decision-making. I had so many rules around what it meant to receive support. Like I used to have a rule that I should be able to figure out everything on my own. And I had like this pride around it, like this, I'm an independent person. I'm this rugged individualist. And that did get me to certain places in my life. But I realized if I really wanted to, take my life to the next level, when it came to starting my own coaching business, I had to let that rule go. I had to rewrite it. So one of those new rules, which I mentioned in my story earlier, was if you have a big mission, it requires big support, and you deserve the best support you can possibly get. And I've just found like that has been able to elevate my life in so many different ways. So I also had some rules around money. I'm just sharing these so you could hear examples of an old rule versus a new rule. So I realized that I had a rule around money, about what it meant to be financially free. And I thought like financial freedom comes from saving money. And I always was taught this, and a lot of our rules come from our upbringing, our culture, society, media, all these different sources. So when it came to starting a business, I was so afraid to invest in different resources and mentorship to support me. I was afraid to invest in my business because I thought I should always save every dollar that I had because I was like afraid it was going to go away. And then I realized that that was actually a rule that was holding me back. So I started to look at, oh, how can I rewrite this rule that I had around money and how to use money? So I realized that, you can only save so much when it comes to financial freedom. Like yes, you can save money and it can, maybe provide you with more, but it's like you can only trim so much meat off the bone before there's nothing left. So, and I didn't like living in that idea of lack anyway. I wanted to live in a life of abundance. So I thought, well, what if instead of saving money, I just open up more streams of revenue for my life? I open up more streams of income and just make more money. Like, what if the answer to financial freedom is not saving money, but it's from making money and investing in things that make more money? All right. So that was a new rule that I created for myself. And then finally, I'll give you one more example. Decision-making is often a really big area where we have lots of rules on how we need to make decisions and what's a smart or logical decision. So I used to have a rule that I was just bad at making decisions and that I needed a lot of time to make decisions, that I, was just never someone that could trust in my own ability to make decisions. So I had a lot of incomplete open decisions in my life, a lot of things that I just ruminated about so much. And I would tell myself like, oh, I'm just doing my due diligence, but really I was just procrastinating and I was just afraid of making the wrong decision. So I like really, this was a hard one for me to let go of, because I would tell myself, oh, I'm just being a very cautious, mindful person, but it was holding me back. And like one of the traits I've seen to be the most common in our most successful coaches is they are decisive. Like they are willing to make decisions even when they don't feel totally prepared or ready. So one of the new rules I made for myself way back when I started to see my business like go from stagnating to taking off, the new rule was telling myself, I can start something even before I feel ready, right? I can do something even before I feel prepared. And that was a rule that kicked so many things off for me. And if any of these rules you think might serve you, I invite you to just take them on. Like the thing about having rules is you can rewrite a rule in any given moment. And you don't need to have evidence of why it's true before you can start believing it. You can just start leaning into the rule and you'll start seeing how it serves you. All right. So don't wait for evidence. You can believe something without having evidence of it. That could be another rule that you can have as well. So I just gave myself permission to have all these new rules for myself. And I was able to see all these changes happen in my life. All the previous ways I was stuck no longer kept me stuck anymore. So back to the middle of a session, you're going to look at all the different assumptions that your clients are making and how you could poke holes at all those assumptions to see what would open up for them when they let those assumptions and rules go. Again, what got them here is not going to get them there. So you figure out what is a different attitude, perspective, mindset that is going to help your client get new results. That leads us to the end of a coaching session. We've made it. So what do we do at the end of a session? Well, now this is where we're going to tie a beautiful bow on this gorgeous session you've just had. I think of it like, we dipped deep into the water and now we're just coming back up to the surface, because if we stayed in the middle of a session for too long, then our client will feel incomplete. They need a way to integrate what we've explored in the session. So at the end of the session, we'll first identify their biggest takeaways. So biggest insights they're having from the session. Then we'll create an action plan. A lot of coaches will do this way too soon. They will try to create an action plan in the beginning or middle of a session. You actually want to save that for the end of a session. All right. And the reason why is if a client is coming up with a goal or an action plan in the beginning of a session, well, they're creating that goal and action from a limited thought process. So they're just going to get limited results. But when we save it for the end of a session, at this point, they have new rules. They have a new thought process. So they're going to come up with new and more empowered action steps. They're going to have better ideas about what they can do to move them forward. Okay. You don't have to set some really elaborate goal with them as long as they have just some kind of action step. Okay. And the final thing you'll do at the end of a session, a lot of coaches also miss this, is establish accountability. So this is simply asking your client, when are you going to get that done? By when? Make sure you have enough time at the end of your session to have accountability set up. Your client might have amazing insights and a beautiful goal, but if they don't have a way to honor their accountability and stick to it, then they're not going to make progress. Okay, so if they say they're going to go to the gym, we want to make sure we're asking them, okay, by when are you going to go to the gym? Is anything going to get in the way of that? Make sure that you are looking at how to set up accountability with your client. This is going to put pressure on your client, but it's the good kind of pressure. Okay, think of it like positive pressure. Okay, so not all pressure is a bad thing. I love the expression, it takes pressure to make a diamond, right? So this is positive pressure that you're putting on your client. If we don't do this, they're just going to stay exactly where they are. Okay, so think of accountability as putting positive pressure on the client. Sometimes pressure is good. These are the three most important concepts that you want to have. I call them, again, the pre-coaching concepts. In summary, it is the blank canvas, which is leaving behind your own bias and assumptions. Then we talked about the heroic lens, which is about seeing your client as a hero at a turning point in their epic adventure. And then honoring the coaching arc, which is having that distinct beginning, middle, and end of a session. Okay, now I want you to think for a moment as we start to look at the business side of things, what kind of coaching business you want to have, because all this is great, right? Like being a great coach is awesome, but having a great business is another thing. You can be the most amazing coach on the planet, but also have no one that pays you. And I want to make sure that you leave this training knowing how to sustain yourself and monetize your skill as a coach. Would you like that? So I want you to think about right now, whether you're listening live or you're listening to a recording, what is it that you'd love to earn per month as a coach? Now, often people get very overwhelmed with this question. They go, oh my gosh, I haven't really thought about it. I want you to think about it right now. Like, what would really blow your mind? Because the first step to making it a reality is to first allow there to be the possibility of it. Okay, so what would you love to earn? Don't worry about how long it's going to take, right? Don't worry about whether or not you'll be able to do it, because right now, like, you're just allowing the possibility to be there. Maybe it's $5,000 a month, maybe it's $10,000 a month, or maybe even $20,000 a month would be incredible. I want you to just start thinking about that and what kind of a difference that would make for you and your life. What would open up for you when you start having that kind of success as a coach? Now, you might have part of your brain that's like, oh my gosh, that's not going to happen, or that's going to be really hard, or it's going to take forever. I don't want you to have any of these judgments about yourself, because what I'm going to share with you right now is a way for you to substantially reduce all the kind of fear and overwhelm that you might be feeling around growing a business. And I want you to listen very closely to this part, because I know that you're all here for a reason, and you want to learn not just how to coach well, but also how to run a business. And there is an entrepreneur inside of you. And I believe that it is possible for you to be successful as a coach, because we've seen it happen with so many coaches of all different walks of life. So what I'm going to share with you is the exact process that we've seen allow our coaches to go from absolutely nothing to start making 5 figures a month as a coach. Okay. It's allowed them to transition out of careers that were very draining and very stressful and frustrating into full-time working as a coach. Like one of our students, Amy, I don't know if Amy is here, but was able to, no, she's not here, get her first paying client just a few days into the program, just by applying the concept I'm going to go over with you. So it's really exciting, right, to hear about these kind of things and to just see the kind of impact it could make. So here we go. There's an old way to making money as a coach, and there is a new way. So let's first talk about really quickly the old way. The old way that coaches ran their business is they would charge by the hour or by the session. So they might charge $100 or $200 an hour. And unfortunately, when you do this, you're needing to hustle a lot in order to make a decent living for yourself, right? You're constantly hoping that your client hires you for another session. And this is a really ineffective and unsustainable way to run a business. Also, you end up attracting clients who are often quite difficult to work with as well. So you don't even work with wonderful clients. They don't get great results, and you're not really getting paid well, and you're working a lot harder. So the good news is that you don't have to run your business in this more traditional old school way. There is a much more sustainable way that works for you and also works out better for your clients. So if you care about not just making money, but also making an impact on people's lives, then I want you to listen closely to this. I call this the new way. And it is by being a premium coach. All right, so a premium coach is a coach that has a high ticket, high value program that they offer their clients. High ticket, high value. So this means a program that you might sell for 3K, 5K, or even 10K per client. Okay, now this is going to attract a whole different type of buyer, a whole different type of client. This is going to attract the people that don't want the quick fix. They want the full deep transformation. Okay, they want to work with someone that's really going to help them get amazing results. Now, those people are out there. Here's the secret though. Those people are out there. They're looking for premium coaching programs. It's just that so few coaches are messaging to that audience. So they just end up not finding the support that they need. Okay, so when you put yourself out there as a premium coach and you have a high ticket program that you offer, you end up attracting incredible clients that get amazing results, because these are people that are very dedicated, they're committed, they're people that they're looking to invest so that way they get the result. Like, they're not looking for what's the cheapest, they're looking for what's the most valuable. And I just think in general, like, that's the best way to approach buying decisions, right? Like, think about maybe times in the past or in areas of your life, you don't really want to buy what's the cheapest, you want to buy what's the most valuable, because that's always worth it in the long run. Right? Maybe when it comes to furniture shopping or clothes shopping or food or travel, there's probably some area of your life where you will not, like, you'll refuse to buy what's cheapest. You want to go for what's valuable. Maybe it's technology. So there are people like that who are premium buyers when it comes to their own personal growth and transformation, when it comes to their health, when it comes to their career, when it comes to their relationships. Okay. So you work with amazing clients. And here's the best part about it. You create this gorgeous container for them to get amazing results, because you're not worried about making money. You're not hustling to find clients left and right. You get to devote yourself to an intimate number of clients. Often only like a dozen clients a year will allow you to at least get into the 6 figures. And of course, you can work with more than that. Of course, you could scale it even more with group coaching. The point is, you get to work with a very intimate number of clients. You have so much more freedom and spaciousness in your life. You're well-resourced that you can show up with total presence to your coaching session. So it actually helps you be a better coach. It's a service. It is an act of service for you and for them. And because you're showing up better, because they're also invested, right? They're making a significant investment. They're going to take your coaching way more seriously than someone who's paying a very cheap amount. So because they're invested and you are, it creates this amazing container for the client to get amazing results. So they get better results as well, which helps you continue to grow your business from there, because now you just have word of mouth and testimonials. The client's success speaks for themselves. Okay. So once you have this high ticket model, you will easily start to see your coaching business take off. And if you want to do corporate coaching, then these numbers can easily be multiplied. You can just add a 0 to each of these numbers here. Oftentimes with corporate coaching, you can have one company hire you for 30K, 50K, or even 100K, just for a single company that's working with you and having you coach many of their employees. So if you think about the math here, right, if your goal is to make 10K a month as a coach, and you have a 10K high ticket, high value program, then you need just one client, one human per month to hit your 10K goal. That's it. Everything else is just going beyond your goal. Now, just think about that for a second, because I know your brain might go a little bit all over the place. I want you to like take a breath, slow it down. You might be thinking, who on earth is going to invest that amount in coaching, right? Are there really those people out there? Who's going to pay me that kind of amount? Am I going to be confident enough to coach them at that level? So again, remember, there are people out there that are premium buyers. Okay, they are people that want value. They're not looking for the cheapest. They want what is the most valuable. Okay, so firstly, know that those people are out there. If you're thinking, well, I don't think those people live in my neighborhood or live in my town, I don't know anybody that's going to invest 10K to work with a coach. Well, I want you to not limit yourself based off of your town or your city or your state or even your country. Because as coaches, we have the opportunity to run your business from anywhere in the world, the whole entire world. As long as they have connection to the internet, they are a potential client for you. So your location is not going to determine your success as a coach. We have a lot of our coaches, they live in very small towns, and they have high ticket clients paying them from all around the world. Okay. So don't let your little bubble that you live in limit you from all the different humans on the planet. All right, good. And if you're looking to make something like maybe beyond 10K, like 15K a month, again, if you just do the math really quickly in your head, I'm hoping that you're at least doing some of the math. If you want to make 15K a month, then you just need a couple of clients at 10K or just 3 clients at 5K. So hopefully this significantly reduces the amount of marketing that you realize that you're going to need to do. Think about like all of the people on the planet, the billions of people, and you just need a few, sometimes just one a month to hit your goal. I know that you might have like this imposter syndrome and this fear around it, but just think about that. Like all the billions of people on the planet, just one per month, right? Hopefully you can at least be open to that possibility. And the first few people that you ask to work with you, like they're not going to be an automatic yes. Oftentimes that's not the case. And that's totally normal. That's normal for any industry. So if you've up until this point, like maybe you've already tried to offer coaching to people and you've gotten mixed opinions or thoughts and rejection, don't let that prevent you from having new results in your future, right? There's several no's that you'll get through, and then you'll get that first yes, and that's where like things start to take off. So you're going to have to get through some no's to finally get to some yeses. This is not meaning that anything's wrong with you or the industry. It just is the normal process for any entrepreneur launching a business. Once you start getting those first few yeses and enrolling your first few clients and they get amazing results, they're going to start referring people to you, and it becomes a snowball effect. Okay, so I know that there's that initial fear around the first client, but I want you to just like think about it for a moment. Like actually imagine you enrolling your first or your next client, and they're investing in your high ticket coaching program that you have. Maybe they're investing 5K to work with you, or 10K to work with you, or 20K to work with you. Just imagine the next or the first person. They are completing the invoice you send to them. You see that that money has come through. They are so excited to work with you. Just imagine what that's going to open up for you. And I tell you, once you go high ticket, you're not going to go back. Once you start having the first few clients pay you, you're going to start seeing how much possibility there is, how much of a win-win it is for you and your clients. And you're just going to keep going from there. But right now, what you've got to do is just believe like it's totally possible for you to do it. You've got to believe in yourself and just believe in the process. And I know that, it's more than about making the money as well. So, of course, the money is great, but, we want you to also make an impact on people's lives. So both of those, you're allowed to desire both, the money and also the impact. I'm all about coaches having both money and also income and also impact. All right. So this is the new way. This is the smart way for you to become successful as a coach. This is the absolute best way. And this is the way that we specialize in teaching coaches in Thriving Coach Academy. So I'm going to take a moment and go over what is the path to becoming successful as a coach. I'm going to talk about what it is that we offer in Thriving Coach Academy. And I want you to really listen closely here, because I believe what we've created over the years is the best coach training program out there, hands down. Nothing even comes close. So I want to show you exactly what we offer, because in this program, we show you step by step how to become not just a life coach, not just a generic coach out there. We teach you how to become a premium coach that has a high ticket coaching program. Okay, that's what we're going to teach you. I believe every single one of you here listening right now, there is a high ticket, high value coaching program in you right now. We've just got to pull it out, but it's there. What if you believe that that was true also? We're going to help you figure out all those answers around some of the logistics you have around, okay, but how many sessions do I do? And what else do I get my clients? That's the easy part. We're going to help you put all that together. That's going to be simple. But right now, we've just got you to start realizing how possible it is and noticing how much simpler it is as well. Okay. So we're going to show you again, as the slide says, exactly how to teach you to become a premium coach with a high ticket program. One of our coaches, Ho Jiang, she became a certified coach recently. And what's really amazing about her story is even, I think right around the time she got certified, she quit her career that she was working in before. and is still devoting herself full time to her coaching business. So we've seen, and I remember she said when she enrolled that she thought it was going to take her years before she can transition out of her career to coaching. She did it within like 6 months. Okay, so just what if the time frame that you have around how long it's going to take, what if it's actually a fraction of that? Because it is absolutely possible. Okay, great. So let's go over the 2 skills that we teach you in the academy are the art of coaching and the business of coaching. Now you need to know both, right? You can learn how to be the most incredible coach, but if you have no idea how to find clients and how to monetize your coaching business, then you might as well just use your certification as a doormat for whatever training program you go through, right? You've got to know how to not just coach well, but how to attract clients. Both of these are skill sets. Both of these are what we're going to teach you. Okay. So firstly, you get immediate access to the program. You don't have to wait to get started. Right away, you dive into our core training. This is going to give you step-by-step videos you go through at your own pace to show you all of the different skills to use in a coaching session. All right. So we are also going to ship you manuals to your door wherever you are in the world. That's going to have all the frameworks, all the questions, all the tools to use with your clients, all the note takings done for you. So you can start out with the core training. It's going to give you that powerful foundation. And in addition to our core training, you get access to our weekly live training calls. So we've got calls happening throughout the week. These are calls where you can meet coaches just like you from all over the world. We have calls that are very flexible. Some of them will happen in the morning, afternoon, evening. They work for our students all over the world. So even if you have a 9-to-5 or you've got other commitments, we made this program for the busy person because we know that you've got things going on. You've got your career, you've got your kids, you've got your priorities. So we have coaching calls and training calls that are happening that you're able to access. So in some of our calls, you get to witness others coach. You get to hear what real coaching sounds like live. You get to hear other coaches get feedback. You can receive coaching as well, so you can experience this amazing work on yourself. And you can also coach and get feedback too. Now, we are not going to teach you how to just be this broad, generic cookie cutter life coach. We're going to also teach you how to specialize in different focus areas. So you're going to learn how to coach in the areas of health and wellness. You'll learn how to do relationship coaching. You'll learn how to do career and life purpose coaching, executive and leadership coaching. You name it, we are going to teach you over a dozen different specialty areas. So that way you know how to coach people on every area. And also, when you do decide to specialize, you'll be able to do that because you'll have all the different skills to support people in every area. Don't think of this like choosing your major where you only get to choose one area and only get access to that. You're going to get exposure to all the different areas of the coaching industry and know how to coach anyone on anything. All right, the next thing you'll get is one-on-one mentorship. So in addition to our very interactive group calls, you're also going to get that one-on-one support. So you'll be given a dedicated mentor coach who's going to work with you from start to finish. Okay, they are going to have one-on-one sessions with you where they're going to give you feedback. They are going to give you that support on the areas where you're crushing it as a coach. And they're also going to give you tips so that way you can elevate your coaching skills. So you're never going to fall behind. You're going to get exactly the support that you need. And you're going to have the safety of having this one-on-one container where you have someone that's very experienced giving you feedback that you're going to benefit from and apply. You get to schedule these calls all at your convenience, whenever it is that you want. Now, again, this specialized training, which I did talk about a little bit earlier, again, you are going to get these specialty training calls so you know how to coach people in all different areas. Now, when you get certified, you are getting our certification. We also are accredited by the International Coach Federation, okay, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We are going to ship you your certification. And one of the coolest things is that even after you get certified, you're still not done. You get lifetime access to the program. So the doors stay open. We are not going to kick you out. And when I say that, I really mean it. So if you ever want to reattend trainings, if you want to get continued mentorship, if you want to continue to receive coaching on any area of your life that you feel like you want to look at and explore, you are able to do that for no additional cost. You can keep attending, reattending, And it's like a joke we have in the academy. We're not going to leave you alone until you tell us to leave you alone. And this goes true as well for your business. So you will get the entire certification program. The value of that is $13K USD. Now, I want you to think for a moment, if you invested $13K once and you learned how to make a high ticket program that maybe generated you $10K per month or $20K per month for the rest of your life. Again, you do the math here, you invest $13K just once and you learn how to make a high ticket program that generates income for you for the rest of your life. Is that worth it to you? Is that a smart investment? Now, we do have some bonuses that we also will include in the program, and these bonuses are included for no additional cost, all right? And I'm very excited about these. So one of them is our Client Magnet Masterclass. So this is where you're going to get the step-by-step support in how to grow a coaching business, how to be a premium coach with a high-ticket program. We're going to lay out exactly what to do. Even if you don't have a following, even if you're not really sure how to get started or don't use social media, that's all okay. We're going to show you how you can use your gifts, your natural born gifts, and form authentic connections with people, share value with them, and then very kindly invite them to work with you. You're not going to learn anything that forces you to be salesy, pushy, sleazy, manipulative, all those gross things that maybe you've experienced before when you've been sold to. We don't want you to feel any of that. So all of the strategies we teach you, they're all forms of what we call organic marketing. This means having genuine conversations with people. This means not needing to pay for advertisements or cold calling random strangers and begging them to work with you. None of that is required, I promise you. What we'll do is we'll teach you ways that you can provide value in the form of maybe in person. You can provide value through the ways you network or do workshops, or online as well with social media or podcasting. Those are just examples. And you don't have to be doing all those things. You might just find one, and that's going to be your way to find clients. Then you'll invite people, potential clients, to have a consultation with you, which is a 1-hour call where they will learn more about your work as a coach, see if it's a fit for them, and then you can invite them to work with you. Now, we're going to give you, as part of this masterclass and the Client Magnet Playbook, hard copy sent to you, a step-by-step guide on exactly how to navigate your consultation with potential clients. So exactly what questions to ask, so that way you feel like you're inviting people to work with you in a very dignified way that keeps you in your integrity. Now, every single week, in addition to this course that's included in your program, you also get access to weekly mentorship calls where you can get support on absolutely anything with your business, whether it be the tech side, how to set things up so you can run an online business, whether it be putting together your high ticket program, figuring out what to charge for it, how to find people for it. No matter what it is, there's no question too big or small. You have lifetime access to weekly business mentorship. Now, another bonus in the program, in addition to the Client Magnet Masterclass, is our group coaching training. So you'll learn not just how to coach one-on-one, but you're also going to learn how to do group coaching. All right. So you might decide that you want to work with more people, but you don't want to use up your whole time. Like maybe you don't want to work with 20 clients a week one-on-one, but you just want to put them all in 1 hour. All of your 20 clients in 1 hour group coaching session. So this is a great way for you to scale your impact. You can work with more people, also free up more time in your life, and make infinite amount of money because you're able to exponentially accumulate more income from these additional clients you take on. So we'll show you exactly how to scale your business with group coaching. And then finally, that lifetime tech support. So lifetime support, we really do mean that. If you've got, it doesn't even matter if you are unsure how to make a website. Like we will help you if you're starting at square one, or if you've already got things set up, we will give you that direct support. So that way you can clean up whatever you have and make sure that you are creating a way for clients to magnetize themselves to you. And then finally, we will give you what's called the Speak More, Make More training. So this is, this used to be a standalone that cost 5 figures to buy alone, but we bundle it in for no additional cost. This is going to show you how to be a great speaker and presenter. So we will help you really tap into that powerful speaker and storyteller inside of you. And even if you're an introverted person or if you're afraid of public speaking, we will show you how to really captivate a group. We'll show you how to put together powerful presentations and workshops and webinars. We'll give you done-for-you guides that you can use right away to enroll paying clients. So you'll learn not just how to be a great coach, but also how to be an amazing public speaker. And that's going to be a very important skill when it comes to growing your business. So again, the tuition, even though everything is valued at over $35,000, the actual tuition is only $13K. Now, the next step, if you're looking to get started, is to book an admissions call with our team. And we do have funding options as well. If you're in the United States, if you're in Canada, then we have funding options that, as long as you are approved for that, you have to go through a short pre-approval process. You can access the program for monthly payments as low as $400 a month with no payment required the first 30 days. Okay. The tuition is $14K. It's going to be $1K more if you do utilize our funding options. However, you do get the flexibility of having the lower monthly payments. Now, if you're looking to optimize on your investment and you'd like to make one payment, then you save the $1,000 and it's just $13K. All right. I will put up in a moment, and also in the chat box, I will put the exact link for you to schedule a call with our team. And it might be me, it might be another person on our team. We will have an admissions call with you. You might be wondering what happens in that call. So that call is really for you to figure out, what is your success going to look like as a coach? So we'll help you piece it all together. We'll answer any questions that you might have, and we'll help you navigate your decision on moving forward as well. So I'm going to put in the chat box the link. There it is right there. If you are listening to this, whether now or to the recording, look at the chat box and you'll be able to click that link to schedule a call with our admissions team. And feel free to do that right now as we finish up in the next few minutes, to get yourself connected with an upcoming admissions call. Okay, cool. So as we move on here, here's another one of our students. This is actually one of our students out in Germany. We sometimes have students wonder, do you have international students or students from other countries? Absolutely. All over the world, we've had coaches enroll. So Sina, all the way out in Germany, she joined our program not too long ago. And she just recently had, I shared this post here, her 1 year since she joined in the program, and she's already been running her full-time coaching business. And she shared the celebration with all of us, how much she's noticed change within just 1 year. I think she ended up leaving her job again, like 6 months into the program. And since then, she's been rocking it with her own full-time coaching business. Now, I know that sometimes you have a little bit of fear that might come up around money, and maybe it's because you've never invested this amount in yourself before, maybe aside from a college education. So you might be afraid about your ability to get yourself a return. And the program is designed because we want you to get a massive return on your investment. So remember, if you have a big mission, it's going to require big support, and you deserve the best support you can get. So I do want you to know that you are worth it. If you are a little bit afraid about making an investment like this in yourself, you are worth it. It's vulnerable at times to devote time and energy and money to yourself, especially if you are used to doing that for others. So I want you to know that the more you can fill your cup up, the more you can honor yourself and honor your dreams, the more you can actually pour back and give back to those that you care about most. Especially if you're a parent, it's like you pursuing your goals and dreams, you have to set that example for your loved ones on what it looks like to really honor what your calling is. And if you are a little bit worried as well around making your money back, then remember, you only need a handful of clients, if that, to make your tuition back. So we designed the program because we want to make that really simple for you to make your money back so that we can just compound it with profit. That's why we teach you, it's one of the reasons why we teach you how to sell a high ticket, high value program, right? Like if you're selling your coaching for $100 an hour, it's going to take you forever, no matter where you go, to make your money back from a really high level program. But since we teach you how to charge high ticket and enroll clients confidently with this high ticket coaching model, you only really need a few or really a couple of clients to make your entire investment back. Okay. So it's like I shared with earlier, Sina, she was able to just with her first few clients make back her tuition. So if you are selling 3K per client, then you only need 5 clients, 5 humans on the entire planet to make your tuition back. 5 people. If you're charging 5K per client, then you just need 3. And if you're charging 10K per client, you would only need 2 people to make your entire investment back. And I promise you, there are at least 2 people on the planet that are going to say yes to working with you. You really want to take into consideration the person you're going to become and transform into in this process. So all the fears, all the doubts, all the hesitancy you have around yourself and your coaching skills now, remember, that's all going to go away in the academy. That's all going to go away. So make sure that you are deciding with your future self in mind, right? If you're deciding just based off of who you are and who you've been, you just limit yourself. You stay stuck. So you want to keep your future self in mind. Keep in mind the person you'll become in this process and decide from that place. Don't let your current self hold you back from your future potential. All right, I'll say that again. Don't let your current self or past self hold you back from your future potential. So I'm going to go over some FAQs as we start to wrap up in a few moments here. Feel free if you do have any questions or insights or just acknowledgements, you can share that in the chat box. I always love seeing that. I see that everyone's still here, which is great. I love that you all have stuck around and hopefully gotten lots of value, taken lots of notes. So the time commitment of the program is about 5 hours per week. Some weeks it might be a little more, some weeks it might be a little bit less. You really do get to go at your own pace. We have live calls that happen throughout the week. And then occasionally we have weekend modules, and these are just half day over the weekend. So very flexible. We understand life happens. Pretty much all of our calls are recorded as well. So if you did need to miss something, you can easily catch yourself up with recordings. You're not going to fall behind. We're going to just meet you where you are and keep you going. The average time it does take our student to become certified is around 6 months. Remember, you do get access to the program after that. However, we found that our average student starts to enroll paying clients way before they get certified. So usually around the 2nd or even the 3rd month, we've seen at least half of our coaches start to enroll paying clients. Now, not every coach wants to have their own coaching business. So when we get asked, like, what's the success rate for your coaches? Well, everyone's success is different. Like, some people want to have a part-time business, some want a full-time, some want to just learn coaching to transform their life or their current career. And that's all fine and that's all valid. So like, I was talking with someone today and she was saying how, like, she knows that even if she doesn't really decide to be have a coaching business and be an entrepreneur, just learning the skill alone is going to be valuable for her in her life, no matter where she takes it, right? Any kind of business pursuit she has or career ambition, coaching is going to up-level her leadership no matter what. So regardless if you don't even enroll clients, you still get to learn a skill that's going to transform your life and transform all your relationships. So as I was saying, like, some students join because they have that really strong business motivation, and that's fine. Others do join because of that personal transformation, right? Maybe you just want to be a part of an amazing community with people that have big goals and dreams, very authentic, aware people. I mean, we have an amazing community, and community is a lot to us. Being a virtual program, we allow our students to connect in so many ways. A lot of our students have lifelong friendships they've created through the program. And we also have an annual retreat. We just had our first one a few weeks ago, which is a way for our coaches to come together and meet up in person if they want to. All right, so is the program accredited? Yes, we are accredited by the International Coach Federation. This is considered the gold standard in the coaching industry. So we are fully accredited by them. We meet all their guidelines and their code of ethics. And then people wonder what makes the Academy unique. Well, one is how modern and sophisticated we are. So there are programs out there that have been around for 10, 20, 30 years. And some of our coaches have already come from those programs. Like, it's not uncommon for us to have coaches who have been through other training programs that just were kind of stale or outdated or didn't give them what they needed. So what makes our program unique is how modern we are. Okay, we are a forward progressive program. We are teaching you what works today with modern technology, with things like artificial intelligence, right? Like, most programs, they're not even talking about that. Our coaches are using that to supplement their business goals. All right, so we teach all the things you need to know today. Even with the pandemic a few years ago, like, the whole entire world shifted, all industries shifted, including the coaching industry. So we made sure to give our entire program a refresh after the pandemic, because we wanted to make sure that our coaches can thrive in the world that we live in today. So you're not going to learn anything that's been outdated or anything that's old school. You're learning what's really modern and sophisticated. Second is the training to become a premium coach. Okay, so You're going to learn how to stand out in the industry. You're not going to blend in with all the other generic life coaches out there. You'll learn how to set yourself apart with a very high level, high ticket program. You're going to love what opens up for you when you really step into the premium coaching world. And then finally, the lifetime access. So we're not just a certification and you're out the door, good luck program. We are going to give you lifetime access to the program. I see a question came in. Emerald, are the coaching tools used proprietary and require fees or membership to use after getting certification? That's a really good question. And the answer is, you're able to use all of our coaching tools. You can brand them with your own branding. We are not going to have you pay any. There are no hidden fees at all. You can use everything. And that's something I honestly wish I knew, because I remember I had gone through a program a long time ago when I was still like running my own coaching business. And I went through this course where they taught you how to use a proprietary assessment tool, but they didn't tell you until the very end that you had to pay every time you wanted to use it. So we all like kind of felt stuck, like, oh, in order to be successful as a coach, we have to pay this company more money. And it's already, like it was hard enough. So no hidden fees. You don't have to, like, we're not going to keep any tools from you using. We want you to use our tools. We want you to put whatever branding or such, whatever you want to put on them. And we'll help you with doing that as well. Yes, thank you for asking that question, Em. All right, cool. So where I was leaving off was the lifetime access. So like I said earlier in this, you can reattend everything you want to reattend. And sometimes people, when they are considering coach training, they think, oh, I've already gone through other courses or other lessons about coaching, and do I really need to go through another thing? Listen, I just believe you're never too old to learn something new. Right. And I think it's so important to be a lifelong learner. And when you're in school, when you're in like college or even high school, like you take multiple classes on the same subject in order to get proficient at it. Right. So like, what if what you've gone through is just a stepping stone? Like when you learn math, you start out learning like basics, algebra, before you get up to the higher level of calculus. So don't let your love for learning prohibit you from getting the next step of support that you know that you need. Don't feel bad about getting more support. Feel excited and honored about receiving support. It's like one of the most beautiful things that you can really do. Like if you want to master any skill, you're going to need oftentimes a team of mentors to support you. Okay. So boom, boom, boom. Let's see. And I want to thank you all for coming to this presentation. It's been a lot of fun for me. And if there are any insights or questions, again, feel free to let me know in the Q&A box. I want to finish with just a reminder about one of the most important lessons that a mentor shared with me. And that is the concept that success loves speed. So listen, I know there's probably some things in your life right now that are pulling at your commitments. You've got your job, you've got your family, you've got kids, you've got, a bill that you need to pay. You've got a house that you're looking to mortgage or whatever it is, or sell. There's always going to be something. There's always. No successful coach that I've trained has ever said that they had all the time, all the money, all the resources, everything just cleared out. They always had circumstances that were not ideal, but they found the courage to still say yes to them and move forward, even when they didn't feel ready, even when the circumstances weren't ideal. So the one thing I request, no matter what path you take, whether you go with our program or another, is that you don't wait for your circumstances to be ideal, because they're never going to be ideal. One of the things about success is that success rewards speed. Success loves speed. Okay. So the sooner that you get started, the sooner you can start creating your coaching business, the sooner you can start having clients. The longer you wait, the longer you are prolonging that, the harder you are making it. Now, unfortunately, it's like one of the most common things people regret when they die. And there's been research done on this. A lot of people regrets, the most common regret, they wish they did what they really felt called to do. And I know for a lot of you, coaching is not just a random thing that you suddenly decided. It's something you feel called to do. And that calling, that dream is never going to leave you alone. So I invite you, even if things in your life could be better and circumstances could be resolved, I still invite you to find the courage to say yes to yourself and to honor this vision and honor this calling that you have. The world really does need more coaches like you. Do not wait for the stars to align. Do not wait for you to feel ready, because you're not going to feel ready. Okay, often the most transformational moments of our life are the moments we make decisions where we just took the plunge. We didn't feel ready. I'm sure you have examples of that in your life where you decided to say yes to something. It wasn't an ideal time, but you still made it work, and you're so grateful that you did. So there comes so much power in being able to make a decision, even when you don't feel totally prepared for the decision. And those are the people that get really rewarded in life, the people that take action. All right. So don't let yourself get stuck in procrastination. Sometimes we say, oh, I need to think and do my due diligence and think more about it, be on the fence, research, process, all these things. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's all just fear. It's all fear in disguise. So again, whether it's our program or not, I just want you to get really clear with yourself and decide, what would it really take for you to trust yourself right now? Like, what would it take for you to just say yes to yourself, say yes to your dreams? Whether that's pursuing coaching or pursuing anything, it's so important to do that, to learn how to say yes to yourself and yes to your dreams. I want to live in a world where more people are saying yes to themselves and their dreams. Are you with me in that? Instead of fear holding people back. Life rewards people who take action. All right. When I got started as a coach, none of my friends, none of my family even knew what coaching was. They were very skeptical. They weren't sure. And listen, there's always going to be skeptics out there. Let those people be skeptical. You don't need everyone to be on board in order for you to be successful. You need to be on board. Okay, so I decided I'm going to say yes to what I feel called to do. And I'm so glad that I did, because it allowed me to have an amazing and fulfilling career path as a coach. It allowed me to overcome all my deep insecurities I was struggling with, make a huge contribution in people's lives, and really feel like I was living the life I was born to live. So this is totally possible for you. You just got to be willing to make that decision and go forward with it. So again, all you need to do, the next step, is to book an admissions call with our team. I put the link on the slide up here in case that is easier for you to find, and the chat box is being a little bit funky. So it's calendly.com/thriving coach academy. Again, it's calendly.com/thriving coach academy. That form is going to have you put in some information. It'll give you some dates for you to book a 1-hour call. And I'm going to leave you with a little exercise that you can do just to allow yourself to really make an empowered choice right now. So first of all, I want you to think about, what's the worst case scenario? What would be the worst thing that could happen if you decide to go all in with coaching and get coach training? Maybe it's like you end up in a hole, in a worse situation than you started. People are now judging you because you didn't make it happen, and you feel like your life's falling apart. Now, how likely is that really to happen on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, really give it a number. 10 is like, it's totally going to happen. 1 is, it's not at all likely. You probably realize it's so unlikely, that your worst case scenario that your brain is creating to protect you, it's so unlikely. Now, it's only fair to give airtime to the best case scenario. What would the best case scenario look like? You decide to double down, get the coaching education you need, and your business takes off. All your coaching dreams start to come true faster than you thought. You start enrolling clients. You start seeing transformation happen in your clients' lives. You start putting yourself out there in a bigger way. You start contributing more to your family and loved ones, maybe traveling to places that you wanted to travel to, quitting a job you don't want to be in anymore. Now, just knowing the type of person you are, and also taking into account the support, the resources, the community you'll have access to, how likely is it that that'll happen on a 1 to 10 scale? 10 is totally likely and 1 is not at all. Okay. And now notice, how does that differ from the worst case scenario? What is more likely to happen? So we hear stories like this all the time, where a lot of our coaches, they end up having the success they wanted even faster than they imagined. So you already have inherent qualities in you right now that are going to make you a great coach and a great business owner. And we're really excited for you to bring those qualities out into the world even more. And with that being said, we are going to come to a close on today's training. So I want to thank you so much. No matter what you do, I appreciate you for giving your time here to learn more about what it takes to be successful as a coach. Again, the link is in the chat box, calendly.com/thrivingcoachacademy. So you can get yourself scheduled with our admissions team, whether it be me or someone else. We'd be so happy to at least see what's possible for you as a coach. Thank you all for being here again. The world really does need more coaches now more than ever. And I wish you all the best in whatever path life takes you. All right. So thanks all for joining, everyone. Bye for now.
Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.